I'm Raymond. You're watching RPadTV, and I'm joined by my excellent friends for a review and discussion of Fallout on Amazon Prime. This is the second season of Fallout. We reviewed the first one, Matt, Carlos, and I think way back in episode 61 or 62.
It was 2 years ago almost.
Yeah.
It
And
feels like it doesn't feel like it's been that long, though.
it doesn't. But I mean, the world has been kind of crazy since then.
I don't feel like I've been doing guest spots on this show that long. That's crazy.
You have indeed.
That's weird.
Been quite some time. But yeah, at the time, all three of us felt it was the best video game to TV adaptation ever. Will it continue in Fallout Season 2? We'll find out.
And that's coming from somebody who worked on the Doom game and the Doom movie with The Rock. So
even he makes fun of that movie.
Yeah,
I'll have you know that I'm actually in the Doom. Was it Doom Annihilation movie? There's a picture of me on a security pass with Blazkowicz written on it. My friend wrote and directed the movie. So
my lowest week celebrity game brag is that I worked on the XXX mobile video game with Vin Diesel.
Well, at least it wasn't the Ice Cube one. Didn't he do the sequels of XXX?
He did do the sequel.
Second one, and I think they brought back Vin Diesel for the third one.
And then Ice Cube went on to do that horrible War of the Worlds like webcam.
I haven't even watched it. It just looks terrible, though.
It is.
It really looks bad.
You should watch it to see how bad a movie can be. But it's
and you know that you can convince me to do that. That's the sad part, because I probably will go back and punish myself accordingly.
Like you're watching it and you're like, who greenlit this? This is astonishingly bad. Like Geely bad, but even less entertaining. And you want it to be better because Ice Cube's a cool guy and he's got a cool son. But yeah. Anyway, let us kick things off with our customary Bluesky reviews of Fallout. All our Blueskys are working. Since Marcus, you are back, why don't you kick off with your review, please?
Season 2 of Fallout has ended, and while for me it did not hit the heights of Season 1, there was still a lot of really enjoyable story and ample fan service. Roll on Season 3.
All right. Carlos, what do you got?
Fallout Season 2 nailed the expansion while keeping the core cast growing. Elite Easter eggs, but Ron Perlman as Super Mutant Clancy Brown as a president. Legendary charisma check completed. I'm so hyped for Season 3. I'm already rewatching Season 2 because I didn't watch it with my wife and now she's really mad at me. War never changes, but this show keeps evolving.
Yeah, I love all the small roles from famous actors in this season, which we will talk about a bit later. Mac, how about your Bluesky review?
I liked it. The show's a fun ride, and so far for me, like all of the episodes have been enjoyable to watch. And I think that's something that, like, you can see it in the other two comments from the guys here, but like that's probably something that's even more so enjoyable if you are somebody who's played the games, familiar with the worlds, the characters, the lore, all that stuff.
Yeah, there is a ton of lore. Todd Howard's worlds are so deep and rich and good. My Bluesky review echoes some of what Marcus said. Amazon continues to knock it out of the park with Fallout. While I preferred Season 1 a tad more, this is still the best video game to TV adaptation. One slight nitpick. I wish they tightened up some of Season 2's endings instead of the Return of the King style ending shown in the finale. Yeah, there was one point I'm like, is this over yet? This thing ended like 6 times already. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But let's kick things off on a positive note as we do. Mac, what was your favorite aspect of Fallout Season 2?
Honestly, this is stupid, but I think it's brilliant. Is the fact that they brought back
Thaddeus.
I think the fact that they brought him back and not only made him like kind of like the comic relief, but also like integral to like kind of moving the story forward.
Yeah.
I think that was just so well done, and he's such like the perfect actor to play that role, because like I can only think of like a couple like a Giovanni Ribisi or somebody else that could do that role that well, but like he just does such a good job being weird.
Yeah,
So
but
I
also
just,
very wholesome and innocent.
yeah, like he's a very fun and intriguing and interesting character to kind of follow along, and you kind of hope that he's in every next scene, when they come back to that particular story.
The guy I sometimes think about in that role, but is too old for it now, is Jack McBrayer from 30 Rock. So
Yeah, that would be another good one too. Or what's the I think it would be overkill, but what's the New Zealander guy's name from Flight of the Conchords?
yeah, he's in Voltron also.
Rice Darby.
Reese
Yes,
Darby, yeah.
Reese
Reese
Darby.
Darby.
Yeah. He'd be a funny character for that as well.
Yeah, that guy's just funny. I love him. I was watching that what's that Jim Carrey Can't Tell Lies movie?
Yes, man.
Oh,
Yes, man. Yeah,
yeah.
He's his co-worker in that as well.
So for me, I enjoyed the action sequences that we got. Those were pretty good. Like the one in the first episode, and then the second episode where they're finding the radiated scorpions, and then the end battle scene that they have within Maximus is fighting all the Death Claws.
That was
So I think most of these action sequences were pretty well set up and pretty good to me. I think that's what I enjoyed the most, in particular about this season.
How did you do with the cockroach scene? That one kind of wigged me out because some bugs I'm just like, ah.
I it didn't freak me out, and I'm
they're
gonna
never
tell you,
they're never that dangerous in the game.
yeah, and that's what makes it funny because these guys are getting killed by something that you would easily be able to beat if you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the thought of giant insects like that.
I'm sure, but you'd be more capable of being able to fight them off than those managers were.
Yeah, that's true.
I just love how they open the elevator. It's all quiet, all quiet, all quiet, and then one just comes and rips a person's head off.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. I didn't know what it was. I knew it was gonna be something, but I didn't know it was gonna be rat roaches, and I was like, all right, like fine, that was good.
Well, do you remember they said in a previous episode that the roach farm was in the elevator?
Right. How about you, Marcus? What did you enjoy most about this season?
Death claws, baby.
The Death Claws.
The Death Claws, the big ones, the little ones, the family of Death Claws, which led to some really terrifying, almost like going back to Jurassic Park Velociraptor moments. The fact that it led to the final battle, that beautiful big battle, and I just thought that they nailed it. So
yeah, I was gonna say, Marcus, do you feel the same? Like when you play Fallout, the first time you get to that first town and you have to fight that first Death Claw, like that whole scene from the show is literally that sequence where there's people hiding in the dilapidated buildings. There's somebody sniping with a high-powered rifle from above on the rooftop. Like there's so much that's like I've literally played this particular scene so many times.
But is he aiming with his foot?
Yeah, and then another part, like later in the game, you do come across like a Death Claw farm or whatever, like an area where there's like 5 or more of them, and it's like impossible to get through. But and I just remember like how miserable like you feel when you're like, oh man, I got to figure out a way to go around. I can't get through here because they're too tough.
Yeah, unless you've got like a mini nuke.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree, man. I think that's one of the most well done bits of their kind of pulling from the borrowing heavily from the game and leaning into it.
And the VFX was so good.
Oh yeah,
I mean the VFX has really continued to shine across both seasons.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many excellent aspects of this show to choose from. Like Carlos said, the action sequence, the Death Claws were tremendous. Some of the performances were killer. But the thing that I kept going back to is it seems like a small thing, but the set design throughout the season was just super impressive. It was the truest form of a video game come to life that I've seen. It was detailed and realistic when it was supposed to be, but in some areas, like in the office areas, they were sparse like a video game level in an office would be. So it felt real, but it also felt very much like a video game. And that's really hard to pull off, that kind of authenticity, but I super appreciated it. Now, taking a step to the dark side, Carlos, what did you not like about Fallout Season 2?
The whole Norm story arc.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like it didn't progress to me as much as the Lucy story the Maximus story, and
Oh, yeah.
obviously Coop and the Ghoul. So it's like we got, if we're including him as part of like the core four of this, main storyline or the tree or the branch, then we need that one to also progress forward, because all we got is that we have the FEV, but we don't have which vault is going to affect and how it's being introduced to them. Is it by the breeding, by the water, things like that. So
Very interesting. How about you, Marcus?
The lack of New Vegas.
Okay.
I mean, if you play the game, you know that New Vegas is much bigger, and you've got the various hotels. The fact that the Elvis impersonators were cut down to just a little shootout because they were ghouls. We saw Freeside, which was great, but didn't see the other factions in the hotels, and that to me was a disappointment, knowing how great they are in the game.
How about you, Mac? What did you like least about season 2 of Fallout?
I don't know. I think we got a little bit of payback on this at the very end in the fight scene with the Death Claws, but like I felt like it took too long to show us just how badass the full armor suit is. Like, and he does a good job using it when he's, but like I feel like when you're in that thing, like you literally are just the Terminator, right? And like I think like he was still seemingly like having too much difficulty with everything, given how much ammo and armor and everything he had on it. So I would have liked to see him be a little bit more like War Machine, with that thing and just go berserk in it.
I think the biggest difference was that he was used to the Brotherhood of Steel power armor, and this was NCR power armor.
Right.
And I'm wondering if there is a difference. I mean, if one's Windows and one's not designed by a child predator.
But also, Maximus isn't that skilled of a fighter yet.
Yeah, he's a noob.
Yeah, because he was just still an upjumped squire in season 1 that the knight happened to die on his watch. So
But he got like attacked by a bear or whatever it was.
Yeah, the radiated bear. Bear.
Yeah.
The knight was a dick, though.
Yeah.
Michael Rappaport.
That's right. It was.
he's getting a little weird, man.
Yeah.
But that is neither here nor there. I didn't like how the storylines were not as even as I felt they were in season 1. I thought there was a better balance throughout, juggling stories. I see what Carlos is saying, but I somewhat disagree. That I liked Norm's story, but I wanted more of it. I think that one needed more.
It did.
Whereas
deliver.
The stuff that bored me the most was what was still happening in the vaults, all the things with Steph.
Right. How many shots do we need to watch of somebody walking down a very long, dark hallway?
Yes.
And they're like, no, wait, it's over here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when you can tell they've run out of budget for the outside shoots.
Yeah. And it almost seems like such a waste of Leslie Uggam, because she's such a wonderful actor. Yeah, the stuff there, it didn't really do anything for me, and it didn't make me wish there were more details, like with Norm's story, for example. That one I wanted to see more of, whereas the stuff that's still happening in the vaults, like, could have done without, and wish they had devoted more time to other stories. I mean, I get why they had to do it, because they still have to progress things there, but I don't think they did as good of a job.
Right. Makes sense.
Now, on a purely subjective level, which character had your favorite or most entertaining story arc in season 2? Marcus.
Maximus.
What did you like?
I think the way it showed him stepping forward to being more of a leader after the noob we saw in season 1. He's still a noob. I mean, he's still maybe level 10, and he's got a long way to go. But I mean, he still has his principles. He had his plan. He clunked Kumail Nanjiani. But yeah, I thought, he is, it just showed at the end where he took on all those death claws to defend everybody, that he has a good heart.
Right. And he actually inspired them to get off their asses and fight back.
Just one.
Yeah.
The older gentleman who went out who was going to go out with a shotgun with no backup.
It just starts with a drop, and then all of a sudden there's a waterfall. Mac, how about you? Who had your favorite story arc?
Thaddeus. Or Dog Meat. Like, I'll take either one of those. But I think Thaddeus is I think he's he's been a not main character, but like a tag along main, not even like main, but just like a fun side character that I think he's making the whole journey far more entertaining and fun.
Yeah, he can kind of steal episodes or steal scenes.
I didn't expect him to be back, like let alone to the depth that he is back in season 2. Like I just thought he was a bit character in season 1 and they'd move on from him. But like, man, like they've made him like real fun.
Yeah.
And he made a bunch of caps out of Max winning the Death Row fight. I loved where he just like untied it and he's raining.
It's just like I print money. That's what my
what did he
job.
say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I make money or I made money when he found that Sarsaparilla Springs bottling plant.
I love that little child labor factory.
Child ghoul factory.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like cute little ghoul. I guess, are they orphans? I don't know.
Yeah, I love. So I was watching it, and then like when Walton Goggins gets impaled on that thing, and he doesn't die, and I remember like either Michelle or one of my girls was like, "How was he not dead?" And my only answer was like, "He's the ghoul. Like, like he's just tough as nails.
He's already dead."
Yeah.
Like
what I liked about that is how we watched him get borderline feral, and the only thing that kept him going was the thought of his wife and daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I kind of agree with Mac that the Thaddeus story arc kind of surprised me because I had no expectations of it either, but it was very cute and wholesome. It wasn't the most meaningful in terms of progressing the show at all, but I love that this sad sack did well.
And that he's loyal still after everything too. Like he's like literally like up on a roof shooting a sniper rifle with his foot.
And I loved his conversations with the ghoul. I'm like, so we're ghouls, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I still have my nose. Like,
is this normal? And there's a mouth.
Yeah, that was the bad. That was probably I laughed out. That was probably the funniest scene of the show.
But it's just something that is so representative of that character. Or Carlos will get this one, or maybe not. I don't know. Do you remember when Rick Steiner used to paint a face on his hand because he had no friends because he betrayed everyone? So
yeah,
he became Alex, his little hand friend.
The infamous Rick Steiner.
Yes, this is what happened in wrestling in the 80s in the South. Carlos, how about you? Who had your favorite story arc?
It's probably Cooper / the Ghoul because he had that. I think primarily this is his like season. Like this whole season was like he was the main storyline because we got a lot of flashbacks on him still working, trying to get the cold fusion isotope, and then him trying to find his family and him basically having like this like guilty remorse feeling that he could have stopped the bombs from falling and that he failed, like not only failed his family but failed everyone like that he's come in contact with, like Lucy and Maximus and people he sees along the line. So
yeah,
he feels like he has to make it up for somebody, but he knows that he still has to be selfish and just worry about himself. So because he got in trouble because he cared about everything so much.
I like that line where it's like, you got to, in order to do something really good, you got to give that to a really bad person to give it to the really good person.
Right. Which he knows from experience. Yeah, I liked his traveling with Lucy to see how they would affect each other, who would have the most influence, whether the ghoul would become softer or Lucy would become harder. And, of course, there is some of both. But if anything, to me, it seemed like Lucy influenced him more than he did to her.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he submitted to ass shooting at the end.
I laughed out loud when he shot him. When he shot the dad in the ass. That was fucking hilarious. Shot him in the butt.
Now I kind of answered this one already. Which Fallout story arc did you like the least? Mine was Steph's and in the vaults. Mac, which story arc did you like the least?
I think I agree. Probably. And again, for the same reasons, I wanted to see a little bit more of like what was going to happen to Norm and if he was going to like somehow make his way back to his sister and his dad somehow. And like, we just didn't get far enough into that story. And that story kind of got the most convoluted along the way. And I got kind of lost and I lost my interest in essentially care. Like when he's on screen, I care about him, but when he's off screen, it's like he's an afterthought now. So, where like when I watch the show, like the other characters, I'm still wondering like if it's a scene with Maximus, I'm still wondering what's going on with Lucy. You know, like so. But like now, Norm is just kind of falling off the map to me, and I kind of don't care what happens to him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's even the more extreme side of my opinion of his arc. Like I wanted more of that because it
And
wasn't.
I do. It's a double-edged sword, right? You want more of it, but like if you're not going to give it to me, then I don't care. So
Why do we like that though? Is it I like it because I like Moises Arias who plays Norm. He cracked me up in The King of Staten Island.
he like I don't know why I want to see more. I think probably a little bit to do because he was talking to like the weird robot head droid before, and you know, that was neat. It just felt like he had the ability to kind of maybe delve a little bit more deeply into some other story element or angle about what happened that they didn't really get into. Like I felt like they were really pushing him to like really dig deep and find some kind of thing that was going to be a big like, you know, turnkey piece of the narrative or something like that, and they just didn't do it. So I think maybe that's why I want more, because he's gonna like eventually deliver something, and but we haven't had it yet.
So we hope. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Right,
Marcus, which story arc did you like least?
I think I'm with you two on that one. I think anything to do with Vault 31 and 33, and then the middle management stuff, especially last year where the character was started off as, oh, he's going to be Ratty Weasel guy, and because that's the type of character he plays. He played it in Ender's Game as well, and then you watch him become one of the most enjoyable characters. So I felt let down this year that anything to do with him was basically him talking to a bunch of whiny assistants. And then you throw in, it's like, oh, it's the water. Oh, what are we going to do with the water? We're out of water. Well, here's the key. Here's the box. Here's the Pip-Boy. It just felt very much like Westworld season 2 to me, which obviously came from the same production team. Now Westworld season 1, I did quite enjoy it. A little overly long for Fallout 1, and I think that was the problem with this one. They didn't go anywhere.
I think Mac and I would watch a Thaddeus show.
Oh yeah, they had a Thaddeus spinoff.
Thaddeus and his arm. Like, that could be fun for us. Carlos.
Thaddeus goes to pieces.
And he's got to be eating and then feeding himself and then feeding the mouth in his shoulder.
Yes. Carlos, how about you? What was the least?
I think I had mentioned that in my things that I liked the least.
Yeah.
That this was. So this, I don't see anything else. Like as far as the story arc that disappointed me more than this one with Norm. And
yeah,
like you, Raymond, you are a big fan of Moises. I am also a big fan of Moises. I didn't know that he was the little kid from Nacho Libre who says,
yes,
"Why can't we ever have just like a salad?"
What?
Yeah.
Now I'm a fan. I don't know that was the same dude.
Yeah, looks different because how old was he then? That was like
2005, like 11 or something.
Ironically,
like
Jack Black looks the same.
Only with the gnarly beard.
Yeah.
That movie, by the way, quick side quest, if you want to call it that. That movie has the best placement of just like random fart sound effects throughout the movie of Nacho Libre.
That has one of my most quotable scenes that I do with whenever I see Jose Fubar. We'll eventually at some point we will randomly say to each other, I hate orphans. just
my
do
wife
that
and I, even now, like if we make any sort of like soup where you got to put like chips and stuff on it, we still do the crumble them up, like we like blow the chips on the soup. And it's like it's breaking a rule if you don't do it that way.
So this isn't on the rundown, but let's answer this real quickly before we go into a quick ad break. Who is the most competent of the MacLeans in this series? Carlos, since you're dogging on Norm, I'm guessing you're going to say him.
The incompetent or competent?
Incompetent.
Yeah, I think you would have to be Norm on that one. It's just
he's the youngest too.
He is the youngest, but now we don't know if Hank has any more Spawn out there.
Chet Jr.
So Ted Jr. Yeah, that is a good one.
Marcus,
because we
who
don't
do you
know.
think is the least capable MacLean in the show?
In season 2, they put all three are running neck and neck for different reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
Hank does finally get this robotic thing going, but I mean, he looks like he couldn't organize an orgy in a brothel. Then you've got Lucy, who she went backwards this season.
I agree.
I think she should have. I would really have liked to have seen her step up a lot. And there was promise right from the get go where she's up in the dinosaur head and she's supposed to snipe those guys who are threatening Walton Goggins' character. And you're like, oh, she's badass. She's gonna blow some heads up. And it's like,
She's too morally grounded in trying to do. She's too
Yeah,
righteous.
I'm sorry, 2 days in the wasteland would take my morals and stamp them to death like it's a rad roach.
The way I play the game, I execute everybody after I'm done getting the information out of them. Everybody, everybody in the world is basically dead by the time I'm done with the game.
That's every game for you, though. But yeah, I agree with Marcus's point, and I don't mean it in a bad way either, because she's still entertaining to me. But yeah, she has not progressed as a hero in a story. And yeah, I would say that her
is she
morals,
supposed to be the hero, or is she supposed to be an anti-hero?
well, she's a protagonist.
Yes.
Let's say that. Yeah,
Well, it's the balance, isn't it, between her as the moral high ground, and then the ghoul on the other side, and Max is in the middle.
right.
And the one who evolved the most for me this season is Max.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mac, who is your least competent MacLean now that we've talked about it a bit?
I think I agree with what we were all talking about. I don't want to say I feel like Hank MacLean did a good job of what Hank MacLean was supposed to do given the circumstances, but I feel like same thing. Norm just kind of can't seem to get his shit together to save his life. Like it's almost like watching one of those movies where like everything goes wrong.
Right.
And it's supposed to be a comedy, but eventually it stops being funny.
Well, he's the luckiest mother. I mean, they were going to string him up, and then the elevator door opens, and just so happens that the rad roaches chase everyone who's going to kill him into an office, and the door clicks behind it.
None of them were alive
Except
when
Claudia.
he went in there afterwards.
Yeah.
No,
Claudia.
I'm talking about the rad roaches. Like none of them were
yeah.
alive. There was like 20 of them in there, and then he waited until they killed everybody. But like there had to have at least been 1 or 2 live ones still in the room.
He's only going to care about his only girl that he found that actually likes him.
I don't understand how Claudia survived. Like she was the only one in the room.
She killed with the screwdriver.
She killed one.
That's the only one that mattered. The one that was trying to eat her.
That was the feral one.
When he was allocating his points, he put everything into luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess so, right? That's a good observation, Marcus.
But yeah, she was in the morning show the last season as Jennifer Aniston's executive assistant. So very happy for her. A young Filipino-American actor. I expect great things from her. She seems like a nice, earnest person, the kind that would like and subscribe to these videos. Or if they're really, really nice, they would go to Amazon.com, buy a tumbler like the one Marcus is drinking out of, get an RPadTV tumbler, get some excellent t-shirts. You can find those on RPadTV. You should also check out Revisiting the Mania if you're into professional wrestling, or even if you're into amateur wrestling and want something more interesting. Carlos, you recently had your 50th episode. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so we decided to take a side quest off of our normal watching WrestleManias of the past, mainly because we are running low on those. We're close to 42. We are on 38 as our next one. So we're like, let's talk about something more of the time. So we wanted to have my wife talk about how she felt about John Cena's last match. We in this household are not fans of Cody Rhodes, but I wanted her voice to be heard about that, and she talked about that. And then we went to a watch party about the Royal Rumble, gave our thoughts about that. We got to meet some legend talent such as the Godfather and the Tribal Cheeks, Rikishi, and Jacqueline, Miss Jackie. So that was fun. So we had all of our initial thoughts posted on where we may think the Rumble might be going, how my wife felt about who won, and why she felt that way. So it was a pretty good episode, I think.
And stuff about Gunther, the
Yes.
artist formerly known as Walter. But yeah, check out Revisiting the Mania. There is a direct link in the podcast description on Facebook and YouTube. Now back to us, as if we went anywhere. So this one is a two-part question, subjective and objective. Mac, which actor delivered your favorite performance, and which actor was the MVP of season 2? So your favorite and best.
I gotta go back to the well and say Thaddeus. Like,
okay.
Again, I think he, in terms of MVP, he's a scene stealer. Like every scene that he's in, you're like, yes. And then when he's not, you're like, where's Thaddeus? And so that's that. What was so MVP, and what was the other one?
Who's your favorite?
Yeah, and
but it's also your favorite, then, isn't it? You know what?
So I tend to think it's like a fun character, and if I were in anything like when I used to work on video games, my request to any of the studios that I worked with, when they always say, "Hey, we'll put you in the game. We'll just put like your initials or your name over a character," I always request to be one of the characters that has a tragic death. So like, and
so you want to be a drummer in Spinal Tap, then?
Yes,
basically. Okay.
Yeah, so and I've been in a couple too. It's been fun where you see my name over a character, and they go into a room, and all you see is blood, afterwards. I was like, oh, it was cool. I died terribly.
Excellent. You know what? I will echo and say that Thaddeus did have my favorite performance, because he really changes the overall tone of the show just by adding a bit of sweetness and lightheartedness in a very way.
It's exactly that. I'm going to give you a really good example. I can't picture anybody else so casually delivering all of their bits, like with carrying their own arm around and using it as a prop. Like he does such a good job of like, well, this fucking happened here. Like he's still using it in order to get everybody's attention. He just threw it on the ground. Like so funny.
That was a great use of a prop.
He's just exercising his right to bear arms.
Hey,
how long you been saving that one?
But for MVP,
with the bottom left screen.
MVP, I have to go with Walton Goggins, just because he basically played two roles a lot this season. There are a lot of flashbacks, and playing as the ghoul.
I still, and I haven't said anything about this yet, but like I still think Kyle MacLachlan did a really excellent job at the end, like as he kind of shut himself off and rebooted himself, and that kind of scene was touching enough to me between them. Like I felt that was like a good job, and I feel like he really delivered the evil dad, not evil dad, like do you hate me, do you love me kind of feeling. That scene was really well done.
And then semi-vegetable dad eventually. Yeah. How about you, Carlos? MVP and favorite?
Oh, my favorite performance is Walton Goggins as Cooper Howard in The Ghoul. At least, like I mentioned, this whole season feels like it's just mainly his story. In rights, it should be, because he's basically been there since the beginning up to now. He has the whole backstory of what pretty much everyone wants, is like, how did this start? Who was responsible? And why did this happen? And things like that. So
we're only dog meat with them.
And he's got dog meat with them. But he's the only one that's going to give us most of the answers. And primarily up to now, we have gotten most of it, except for who dropped the bombs. And I think we got a little bit of clarity on that it could have been the Enclave in regards to that. And the MVP of the cast, you would have to
Clancy Brown.
Well, that would probably be like several small roles, but yeah, it still has to be Walton, because we touched upon this on season 1, but he's the big name star, like big name attraction star of this show, and without him being able to do those dual roles and actually do the acting, this show wouldn't be able to continue. I think it'd be taken seriously.
I agree. How about you, Marcus? MVP and personal favorite performance?
Well, MVP, yeah. I mean, it's always going to be Walton Goggins. I mean, he is, no offense to the rest of the cast, he is head and shoulders above and a nose above everybody else.
Yeah, he's carrying the show
Um,
for sure.
yeah, he is. He is. And I mean, that's what he does. I mean, he's evolved into from this generic bad guy character that he would play for the last 20 years into he's been a romantic lead in a TV show. I think it was The Unicorn. He was, in the Mighty Gemstones. Huge comic turn, and now this one. I mean, he, like I said, he's on top of his game, and he is MVP every time. My performance, though, I'm gonna go back to Maximus because just to watch him grow. Although my only concern about Maximus is if you look at him, he doesn't emote from the nose up. There's nothing there. I mean, you look at the actor, and he's just so stoic. But to watch that character go from this timid squire who, seized his chance, ended up in the suit, fell in love with Lucy because the probable attractive woman he met. But, and just to go through, and it all culminated in that battle. That battle to me, that was like, I'm sorry, I'd be shitting myself. But he stood there with the responsibility to take down 6 Deathclaws, and he did. When his suit was knackered and everything else, the final Deathclaw he needed a little help for. But
I love that they actually showed the suit get airborne for a few seconds too.
Yes.
That was cool.
And I do want to, I feel remiss not to mention Ella Purnell because she's super talented. To me, she's British Emma Stone. She's a attractive, talented actor with giant bug eyes.
Yeah, but I feel like she did a great job, a consistent job. Like you knew what you were going to get with every scene with Ella Purnell, though. I feel like there's no surprise with her. Like she just does that role really well, where like I think some of the other characters, Walton Goggins, Maximus, even my favorite guy, Thaddy, like they all kind of have more surprising elements to their characters, throughout the dialogue. And just so I think her character did exactly what I thought she was going to do, but like didn't really surprise me at all.
I think the character just needs better writing. I mean, in season 3, she needs to come out of that shell because, I mean, a whole 2 seasons of
she needs to be a real wastelander.
The milk toast, yeah.
I thought we were going to get it when she became addicted to pain meds.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed when she took that detox drug, a Dictol or whatever it's called. That was fantastic. So brief tangent, since we're talking about Walton Goggins. I first saw him in a movie in 1998. My friend Justin Killian, who is now a very accomplished lawyer, we went to see Major League 3 in the movie theaters.
Wow.
We were the only, it was a really rainy night in New York, and we were the only 2 people in the theater during credits. And we're like, we're going to have this whole theater to watch this stupid movie by ourselves. But then right when it started, 2 more people came in, and that made
the thing about him is like, he's been around for so long and I'm just looking on IMDb right now, and just his whole filmography. He's been in so much stuff. It really is like impressive. He's, Cecil and Invincible too, it's just like, it's really cool. Like to see how far he's come all. Cause like, he's always been like, again, that not leading man up until maybe a couple years ago. Right. And all of a sudden he's just like popped up and he's in the driver's seat now.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Like your career blowing up, 20 years after you started, but he's been killing it with this White Lotus. I mean, he's just been massive.
Yeah. Keeping on this tangent, it's kind of funny because I mentioned in like a previous episode, I feel like Pedro Pascal did the same thing. He was like kind of in some movies, and then now he's like literally in everything. And I feel like Walton Goggins was like been in a lot of stuff, but now he's like literally leading character in a lot of different things. But I still don't have that weird like feeling where I don't want to see any more Pedro Pascal movies right now. Like I don't have that with Walton Goggins. I would happily go see another one.
I didn't know Pedro Pascal until Game of Thrones. Did he do a lot of stuff before that, or?
I mean, no. That's literally like the first. I actually went to high school with him, I think, too, which is weird.
Oh wow!
But
his first TV appearance was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that after. I don't remember it at the time, but I remember learning about that later.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I don't get that weird feeling though. Like I don't want to see any more Walton Goggins like roles.
You really don't like Pedro Pascal.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just been too much. Every
He probably took his lunch money every day, Raymond.
Yeah,
That's why
he
he
beat
doesn't
him
want
up in
him in it.
school.
What it was.
But Mac is not telling us.
No, it's just strange though because like it's not like he's a bad actor, right? Like he does a decent job.
I think he's a very good
Hey,
talent.
I would say he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Look, and if anybody can bounce back from Wonder Woman 1984 like Pascal did, Fairfax did.
Ooh, yeah. You just have Pedro Pascal fatigue, which
I do.
happens to some of us.
PPF.
Yes. Carlos, I will throw this question to you since you mentioned this in your Blue Sky, that there are a lot of small roles played by very famous and accomplished actors. Which one stood out for you?
Just because I have more of affinity in like for him is Clancy Brown. You know,
Legend.
Yeah, more for him. And we understand that Ron Perlman does most of the voice acting introductions for Fallout. Like I mentioned previously, I've only played like two of the games out of this whole series. So with this, it's I don't have that strong attachment to him as much as Clancy Brown. You know, I think the first time I saw him was when he was in
Highlander.
Starship. Well, Highlander, depending.
Yeah,
the Starship Troopers. Like when I was able to. So it's just, and then hearing his voice more used in cartoons and animated works and things like that. So
Kick ass as Lex Luthor. He did tremendous work as Lex Luthor in Superman the animated series,
and the real shitty guard in Shawshank Redemption.
But yeah, he is forever the Kurgan to me.
And he also wants to finish up the Hellboy trilogy. He wants to do Hellboy 3 before he gets to World.
Yeah.
Which I think would be awesome because I really like those
Del Toro ones. Yeah.
Marcus, who are your favorite small role actors in this? Well, big actors in small roles, I should say.
It's got to be Ron Perlman for me. I mean, obviously, massive respect to Clancy Brown as the two standouts, but for me, Ron Perlman as somebody who potentially starts the super mutant revolution. That's got me nether regions all a tingle.
Mac?
I'm gonna have to go with the one that I think probably had everybody do the same thing and go, is that fucking Macaulay Culkin as the Kaiser?
Yes.
I thought that was such a weirdly brilliant casting. And I don't think it's the right role for him to do any kind of comeback, but it was just weird and out there enough for me to go, like, it is him. Okay, let's see how this goes. And then sure enough, like, and it was kind of funny because I was having to explain to my wife, like, why are there dudes running around the wasteland dressed like the Legion?
Right.
And I was like, well, like, keep in mind, like, this is like a very undereducated world. So they probably saw a book somewhere, and I don't remember what the history is, but like that's why they just dress like that.
I was happy for him because he's a massive gamer, and
he totally knows the lore and all that stuff. But I just still love the fact I had to explain, like, why are they not saying Caesar? I was like, they're stupid. Like, did they just don't know?
It's so funny. I think of his brother as the primary actor in that family.
Now, especially after what was the other show? Succession. Yeah,
I've thought about him that way since Scott Pilgrim. So he's been the primary Culkin to me.
Yeah.
Wallace.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with John Grise. He played one of the 2 NCR soldiers that was stuck in the desert there.
Uncle Rico and
Laszlo Holyfeld from Real Genius. That was him.
He was which one?
You know those 2 soldiers that were stuck in the desert?
Yeah, it was like the black lady who came back at the end.
he was
balding guy.
obviously not the black lady. So,
But he, when they're
Sure.
fighting,
But he could have identified as that if he wanted to.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if
But
he's
no,
that good of an
I
actor.
didn't catch that was him at all.
Yeah, he's also in the White Lotus as the guy who grifted Jennifer
right.
Coolidge's money.
That's right. But I mean, yeah, Laszlo Hollifeld and Uncle Rico are just two massive roles for me. So I will be happy anytime John Grise shows up in anything.
I gotta go rewatch the last couple of episodes then.
I mean, he didn't really do much of anything. I was just happy that it was him in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as moving the plot forward, didn't really do a whole
Not
lot.
really. Macaulay Culkin though, moving the plot forward
Absolutely.
as the new Kaiser.
Yes. Who will soon
Just
have
fun
a
to say.
palace. Kaiser's
Have his-
palace.
Yeah, Kaiser's Palace. Let's go.
That was terrible writing, but still funny.
So let's talk about the pacing of the show. One of the few complaints, I mean, this season has been getting rave reviews. The show in general has been getting rave reviews, but one of the complaints is that the pacing wasn't great in this, particularly in episodes 4 and 5. People thought the content kind of dragged a bit. Marcus, how did you feel about the pacing, and did anything feel like a drag to you?
I agree. I mean, there was so much interesting stuff that I felt they could have done over generic Office Number 3 or the great snack club war of 33. That sort of shit was like that was the Phantom Menace to me. A lot of that I did not need to see any of that. I think that's what slowed it down, and especially some of the Hank stuff as well. A little bit too slow. I mean, the show started strongly, it ended strongly, but those middle couple of episodes just, unlike the first season where they nailed the pace of everything, I think.
Fantastic balance. It's difficult to do. But yeah, I forgot about the inbred snack club until you mentioned it, because that was by far my least favorite part of the show. My least favorite storyline. Like this does nothing. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't make me laugh. It doesn't, as far as I can see, it doesn't push any of the.
It was like a one-trick pony that they tried to turn into like a 10-trick pony.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it going to turn into Lord of the Flies or something? I mean, I just don't. Yeah, I could have done without those two, with that 31, 33, and the Canadian lady who's 200 years old, and
the inbred social club. Carlos, how did you feel about the pacing?
To me, it didn't feel that way, and I'm talking to someone that has like the basic subscription to Prime, so I get the commercial breaks, and sometimes those commercial breaks are illy timed, and they come like at the worst possible, like either mid sentence or
they're terrible. They suck at that.
Oh, they're so awful. Yeah,
those are worse for me than the pacing of the season. Could this season have been better if they would have dropped them all, and maybe they wouldn't have felt, because we had a week to wait, and maybe that's why the pacing feels off as far as like the episodes and the storylines. Like if we were able to binge it, would we still have the same thing?
If as a gamer who's played like big games like this before, like if the pacing seems fine to me, because I'm so familiar with like how long it takes to do some of these missions of the game, and how long it takes to, unless you're fast traveling, to traverse from one area to the next and do all that stuff. So to me, like the pacing wasn't terrible, because like I was aligning it with like the experience of playing the game a lot. But yeah, it's a slow crawl to get to where you want to get to.
Yeah,
I think it might be. It's interesting that I think Carlos raised a good point. One, I'm on the no pay. I'm not paying to remove the ads. Fuck Bezos, he gets enough of my money.
Right, in the same boat.
But with season 1, I actually was hired by Amazon to watch the show and write my thoughts as a gamer. So I watched every episode back to back until got to the finale, which I didn't see because they didn't want anything spoiled. So I watched that whole thing in about one day, and then watched it all again. And
I could see that being a way more enjoyable way of taking in the content.
Yeah. Touching on Carlos's point, I watched the series twice, or I guess I watched the first 6 episodes separately, and then finished it, and then I binged it all again, and it worked better for me as a binge.
Yeah,
Like-
as a parallel, I think Raymond was telling this. Like, I've been going back and rewatching Game of Thrones for the second time ever because my daughter is now watching it. So I just wanted to go see it again, and it's such a more enjoyable experience than the first time where you had to wait weeks in between. Where like now you just go bing, 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 and get through, and you don't have to wait. And there's like it just feels better that way. And I feel like this show is probably in that same wheelhouse.
I was actually thinking about
As is
you.
the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, by the way.
I was thinking about you during, I think it was episode 7, when Hank is teaching Lucy how to drive the golf cart, and I was thinking about your younger daughter just started driving recently.
Indeed.
Like, is this what Mac's life is like?
No, luckily the younger one takes after me in terms of the driving and is a good driver.
So I think I'm the only one paying to not have commercials, because I think I did it during Gen V season 2, because after the first episode, the commercials were pissing me off so much.
You know,
and like, here's
by
your
the way,
goddamn $6. And then just out of inertia, I just keep forgetting to cancel it. So here I am.
I don't remember if this is a weird tangent too, but just because you brought it up, I don't remember if it's the commercials that were popping up on Amazon or if it was Intuit TurboTax has an ad. And I shit you not, if you saw it, you'd know exactly what I was talking about. But Intuit TurboTax, about doing your taxes, by the way, the least enjoyable thing ever. Intuit TurboTax has an ad that's like consistently being forced through, to watch. I think it might be on Amazon, but and it basically is turning the ad into like a 30-second cartoon. What was what was the big Demon Hunters thing on Netflix?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, they've basically made an ad for Intuit TurboTax targeting the K-pop Demon Hunters audience and the style and just the way this ad is, and you're like, what is happening right now? Are you like targeting 16 to 18-year-old like girls?
No, they're targeting their parents, which I think is actually kind of genius, because so many parents are watching it, whether they want to or not.
Yeah, it's a real head shaker.
Thankfully, I have not seen that commercial, and I feel very fortunate.
I'm gonna send it to you today.
But yeah, it's just out of inertia, and I'm probably gonna still keep it because Invincible is soonish.
That's like a month, right?
March, yeah.
Good.
So let us talk about the finale. Marcus, please kick this one off. How did you feel about how the show ended? Were you satisfied with how they wrapped up the season 2 stories, or was there too much setup for season 3?
Well, I think, we know that season 3 was always going to happen. In fact, they start filming at the end of the year. Walton Goggins confirmed that on a video interview last week. I think there was enough interesting stuff. The thing that excited me the most actually came after the credits. Liberty Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's something that's really really quite fascinating to me and kind of cool. I think.
Can you elaborate on that real quick? Because I was confused by the ending.
Liberty Prime is basically the ultimate mech version of the power armor. I mean, it's huge. It's like 40 feet high, and it's like the Iron Giant but with big guns.
And they showed that? I didn't see that.
They showed the blueprints for Liberty Prime at the post credits. Now that one to me was very interesting. The idea that Coop is now going off to Colorado is very interesting, and I think it's got me thinking actually that would be a great place for Fallout 5 to be set. Colorado, because you'd have Colorado Springs where NORAD is, and so all of a sudden you flip NORAD into a Robco controlled a center or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff there. The only ones that were a little bit disappointing was just watching Max and Lucy standing there holding hands and a little flash of Mr. House at the end, which means maybe Mr. House is and Vegas still has a future.
He's on a portable hard drive somewhere.
He's on my Pip-Boy actually. But yeah, I don't mind the setup for season 3. If I just feel we could have had more out of season 2 if they'd, taken a chainsaw to some of that midsection stuff.
Yeah, I feel similarly, but maybe a little bit more strongly about wrapping up season 2. I felt unsatisfied in the way that I was in The Boys season 4 finale, where it seemed more about setting up the next shows instead of wrapping this one off. I wish they tightened up some of the middle storylines, especially the vault stuff. And as I mentioned, the Inbred Social Club just did nothing for me. If they erased all that content and
I was
tightened up,
like, sounds funny, an idea. Let's get it on paper, and they shouldn't have leaned into it that hard.
one scene would have been fine.
Yeah, like fine, but like
yeah,
move on. The joke is done.
yeah, absolutely agreed. How about you, Mac? Were you satisfied with the ending?
So I was like I said, I was a little bit more confused, and to be frank, I gotta be honest, I don't really know what I think I expect in season 3. Like I have some ideas, but are we gonna have a full-on war between the NCR and the Legion in the streets of like New Vegas? Like what's like I just don't really understand where I know that the ghoul, he's on his way to Colorado. That was very clear. He's still trying to go find his wife and daughter. That's an easy story to follow. It's nice to see that Maximus and Lucy have kind of reunited. You can kind of see they'll have something, more on them in the next season. I don't understand what happens to Lucy's dad after this, because he's basically Jello Brain. Yeah, I just I'm lost with what happens with the cold fusion and the Mr. House and all that stuff. It's too far beyond me to see where this is going.
Well,
Question for you, Carlos. Let's close out this section with you, please. What did you think about the ending of Fallout Season 2?
Well, I feel like it was just more setup for season 3. I think I messaged you maybe after like the 5th or the 6th one episode, and I was like, we're not gonna be finished with New Vegas's like world by the end of the season. It's gonna have to continue into season 3 because we still have the battles between the Legion and the NCR that's gonna happen.
Right.
And isn't there like a battle of Hoover Dam that happened in one of the expansions?
Mhm.
So we still need to get to that because who's controlling that? Is it the Enclave, I think, or the Commonwealth that's
I
controlling
think the NCR controls
The NCR
Hoover Dam, and the Legion go after it. And
yeah,
this is in the future of where the Fallout the game is set in beyond this current timeline, because you saw that there wasn't much of New Vegas.
yeah.
You saw that it was the origins of Mr. House. So
who knows where they can go with it? And that's
Yeah.
kind of where the fun is in this series, that they can go
Yeah,
in
it's
very
weird.
different
These
directions.
ended in a way where I was like, I'm excited for season 3 generically, just because yes, please, more Fallout. I'm not necessarily excited about season 3 because of what I think it's going to do to close open stories that are bleeding over from season 2. I'm just excited for more Fallout to see what they do, but I was satisfied with the ending of season 2, but it didn't give me a whole lot of specific things because, like I said, I was a little bit confused about what to look forward to. So I'm just excited for more.
what are you,
Matt,
Ray?
let's keep going with you. Last time we talked about Fallout, way back in episode 61, that might be 62. I think it's 61. You and Carlos both said it was the best video game adaptation to television ever.
Absolutely. I
With
still
season
stand by
2,
that.
yeah. So that's still the case for you.
I think so. I think it's just been the attention to detail of, like you even said earlier, right? The set pieces, just the characters you come across, the monsters you encounter, just the attention to detail that they've paid to really kind of pay homage to people like us, fans of the game who can just sit down and watch the show and just be similarly just as immersed in a TV show as we get in a game. It's kind of a hard achievement to do, and I feel like that's where I'm at with the show. I just want more of this. It's fun to watch.
Fantastic point. Carlos, do you still support your opinion from before 2 years
Yeah.
ago?
Definitely. I like you went into the first episode. They still gave us what we like, which was all the Easter eggs for us gamers. And then, it's still a show that still is not only a great show for us who have played the game, who have immersed ourselves in the actual universe of the game, but also for casual viewers who do not know what happens in this world. Like,
Right.
we mentioned the whole bringing some of these locations to life, like in the is it the first episode when the ghoul is being held up, and we have the location Novak, the where
Yeah.
he's being
the
strung out and
dinosaurs.
things, like, yeah. So just being able to bring that to life, the sarsaparilla bottling plant, that was also good to see that came in. And even though we got like a shortened version of New Vegas, we got to see some of that. And now maybe that we've unlocked this area, the map will expand and we'll be able to get more. Because I feel like we're gonna at least be here in season 3 at New Vegas for at least maybe the majority of season 3, while Cooper's off doing his own thing and
I think
getting
we
to
need
Colorado.
I think we need to see a couple things in season 3, though. Like playing off what Marcus said before too. Like I think we definitely need to see a mini nuke be used, like weapon wise. And I think we're gonna see some pretty legit. I hope some pretty legit super mutant level gore with Ron Perlman as a super mutant. And I hope it seems like I don't think they're gonna do it wrong because they've been doing everything else pretty accurately and pretty right. I hope they get the super mutant, everything about it right.
Like Carlos and Mac, I also agreed that this is the best adaptation of a video game to television ever. I mean, to me, there's only two choices. It's this or The Last of Us, and I just prefer this world. Close things out with Marcus. Is this the best video game adaptation to you?
Absolutely. I mean, it's right up my alley. It's one of my New Vegas is top 3 favorite games of all time for me. But what it needs to do in season 3 is it needs to tighten up, lose a few pounds of
Norm, 85 pounds.
Just Whipple. I mean, the exposition. We don't need too much of that. Yeah, it's a little too heavy because people are in now. They've watched the first season.
Yeah,
they've got an idea. Yeah, they've got an idea. So cut the corners. Show us the Enclave. Do not leave me with blue balls over Liberty Prime. and that actually, you know what? That actually goes.
That should have been your Bluesky review.
Well, that goes for Todd Howard too. I want Liberty Prime in Fallout 5. I mean, the engine should be able to handle it. If not, get rid of that creation engine. But yes, it is absolutely 100% the best video game adaptation. Season 1 of The Last of Us came close. Season 2 didn't.
Yes.
Season 2 was a whiff and a miss. So yeah, there's so much more to mine from this series. But like I said, in New Vegas and exploring the
rest of the city.
The rest of the city, yes. Mm-hmm. And seeing the McCarran Air Force Base that was taken over by the NCR.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Now, obviously, because this is set kind of before the New Vegas game we know and love, and the NCR have only just wobbled in. But I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that, and I want to see less, politicking in the 2 other vaults. Show me the vaults. Show me other vaults where show me that vault where they did all the child experiments. Show me show me the smaller towns.
Necropolis. What do we do? It's mentioned that Coop wants to go to Bakersfield before the bomb drops, and that's where Necropolis.
Right.
Then where that Vault 12 is, and is he part of that one? That was one of my things that I wanted to bring up too, is that we normally would stumble across a vault on our way, doing side quests, going to wherever, and they don't seem to stumble upon anything, besides little sites here and there, encampments.
That's also how it's fiction, because no one should ever want to go to Bakersfield.
That's true.
Well, they did stumble upon the one dude who became like the guinea pig for what's his name?
The traveling salesman.
Yeah.
Right, the snake oil salesman.
That
Yeah.
was the one time they stopped off and found like a tiny little place, and it was that guy, and then he became a return character as well, which I thought was fun.
We know Coop is the MVP. We know the Walton Goggins is the MVP. Let's make that connection of when he stopped being Coop, when he started being the Ghoul, because the last we saw of him as Coop in season 1, or he was riding off with his kid on the horse. So how did they get separated? He got the house. The bomb was coming in. That's like 72 seconds from when the bomb detonates to everything else. Is the little girl a Ghoul? I mean,
that's what I'm curious. When he finds his wife and daughter, are they
ghouls?
Regular? Are they regular? Are they like the ghouls?
Or are they the ghoulish fucking Brady bunch?
Or are they super mutants? That'd be even cooler.
But yeah, those are the questions that we want to see, because I think if they want to keep Fallout going, I don't think Walton Goggins is going to do this forever. I think season 3 is probably what we'll get out of him, and then they'll be looking to establish new characters because the lore is so rich. They could do a lot of stuff with this, but they've got to nail season 3.
I did like when Walton Goggins, the Ghoul, was talking to the super mutant, and he was just like, "You and me didn't get bit by the same bug," because super mutant's like, he's like, "We're the same."
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be a wrap for our Fallout Season 2 review. Guys, please follow Mac, Marcus, and Carlos on Bluesky. There are links to their accounts in the Facebook and YouTube descriptions. Be sure to check out Revisiting WrestleMania. There's a link to that in the descriptions as well. And join us next week, where we'll be taking a special look at Universe for Black History Month. And we're going to actually do a live review at the end of the month of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Looking forward to seeing how that one wraps up. Thanks for watching RPadTV. We will see you next time. Wait, fireworks.